Okay, so let's go back to our users.go file. So API users.go. So currently we register a user. Okay, and right here is where we insert the user. Okay, so after we insert the user into the database, then right here we will add their permission. So add permissions for the newly inserted user. Okay, and lucky for us, we have a method to do that. And so we know it returns an error. So we'll say app dot models dot permission. Okay, let's remove that. So app dot models dot permission dot add for user. So we need to provide the user ID, which we already have it right there. So we will say user.id. All right. And what else do we need to provide? We need to provide whatever codes. Okay. So it makes sense that we will, since it's an API, and most users will want to just read the API, all right, not change it. So it makes sense to not provide write and read both. So we will just provide read option. So we'll say schools colon read. Okay, so we could have also provided write option, but doesn't make much sense since we don't want them to be writing to our APIs. We want them to be reading from our API. So if error not nil, of course, if it's a service where you can have them add entries to the API, then of course you can go ahead and give them the write permission as well. All right. So if there's an error, then something went wrong, and then I will simply say server error response WR and error. So error. And since there's nothing else we can do, we'll just return. And that's that. So let's test this out. Let's restart our server. Okay, so it's telling me I have an error. Let's Control C. Okay, let's try again. Okay, let's come here. Let's remove these. Start a new terminal. Okay, so what I want to do is create a new user, which I already did. So I created a new user called, what was the new user called? Alba. Okay, so I created a new user called Alba. So what I want to do is to use Alba to check her permissions. So I'll just use this query right here, which I have prepared. Okay, so I will come here and let's just before I even do that, yeah, I already created her, so let's just paste. Let's see if she was created. Okay. Oh, all right, so I see why, because there was an error. Let's try again. So let's, yeah, I think where's Alba? Let's see if I can find Alba. Okay, here she is. Let's create her. So it seems I did not create her. Okay, so let's create Alba. Okay, so let's run our endpoint to create Alba. Okay, so this should create her. Oops, email, a user with this email already exists. Okay, so I guess I'll have to change Alba's name. Let's just put Marta. And let's put Marta. Okay, so let's see if she was created. All right, so we created Marta. Okay, so activated false. All right, any errors? Oh, we got an error. Oh, okay. This is no biggie. I am not connected to the internet, so it's unable to send the registration message using Mailtrap. Okay, so that's no problem. If you are connected to the internet, then you won't see this error. But for me, I don't have any internet right now. As I am recording this video, I don't have any internet access. Okay, so let's just go back to PSQL and let's see if we can find Alba and Marta. All right, so I have Martha, and let's see if it's not showing me Alba. So where is Alba? Oh, okay. I see the problem. Let's say select all from users. Okay. Okay. So let's say select email and name from users. Okay. So Alba is there, Marta is there, but the problem is when I created Alba, I did not complete the change in my user registration process. So what I'll have to do is to drop Alba. So I'll just say delete from users where email is Alba at example.com. Okay. Okay. All right, so I dropped her, and so if I go back and I recreate her, so where's Alba? Here, it's Alba. Let's recreate her. Great. And so now, if I go back and check the permissions, I will now see her in the list. So Alba, right here. Okay, so she has read. Martha, who I just created, also have read. Okay, so that was my mistake. I created Alba before I updated my part of the code here. Okay, so I should have done this first before I actually created Martha, but I guess I was too eager. Okay, and so with that, we finally come to the end of our authorization section. So it was quite a lot. So we learned how to authorize based on middleware. We learned how to do finely grained permissions. Okay, and so those things can be extended. So you need to understand that there's a difference between authentication, which I always emphasize. Authentication is the user or the client identifying themselves to the system. The system knows who. As opposed to authorization, where the authorization will now look and see, okay, who is the user and what can the user do on the system. So what they can or cannot do on the system. That is authorization. Okay, and that's why we spent a lot of time on setting proper permissions so we can have different levels of authorization. Okay, so in the next unit, we will look at cores, and this is something that will be sort of specific to JavaScript, and it basically will allow our API to respond to requests that have or are created using JavaScript. Okay, so it's an interesting idea and something you must know, and so that will be the next unit, and I will see you in that video.